Hi, and welcome to ConvoSessions. Today, my special guest is Nicolette DeLange, and she's coming as a career coach, and I'm excited for this episode. There's a lot of good things I know that will come of it, and I know it'll bring value to the viewers. So thanks so much for coming on the show with me, Nicolette.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I was so excited when we get to connect and this opportunity came up. Just to tell people a little bit more about who I am and where I'm from. I was born and bred in South Africa. I've traveled in the US quite a bit and I love your country. I hear Sherri said she's having snow. First time I experienced snow was in National Harbor on your eastern seaboard, which was absolutely fabulous. So like she said, I'm a career coach. I started as a psychometrist, and I'm sure this will come up a little bit later in the conversation as well, exactly what that is, if you don't know. Started my journey as an intern psychometrist, became a principal psychometrist, and as my career developed, I just realized that people finding their niche and finding their passions and finding a career that they can really delve into is actually a little bit more involved than just going for some career counseling. So that's what I specialize in. I am a career coach, and I also do some training and development to help people get to where it is that they want to be.
That's awesome. Okay, so career coaching seems like it's a little bit of a newer thing. Can you explain a little bit for the viewers who don't quite know what it is, what it's about, and why they might need it?
Yeah, sure. So now we're going to come back to how I came to where I am. So like I said, I started as a psychometrist. So I was in a career counseling practice where it's similar to what they do in the States when you have your school counselors, where they're doing aptitude tests in order to determine how your brain works, what your strengths and weaknesses are, in order to guide and assist you in terms of a career choice. So I started there and then got involved more in the HR talent development space. I was also a lecturer for a time. And what I found is I had this one lady. I was lecturing and tutoring first-year psychology students. And there was this 47-year-old lady that had been an attorney her whole life and decided that this is not where she feels her passion and her purpose in life is, and she wants to become a psychologist. And that was something quite out of the ordinary for me. And that actually got me thinking, because in a career counseling practice, you tend to deal with younger people. So it's school-going children that want to know, what subjects do they need to take, what development do they need, because they want to become a doctor, they want to become a tradesman, they want to become a CEO one day. And that to me I enjoyed it. I really do. And I think that's a great place to start. We can talk about that later. But what was missing was the fact that the reality is there's so many people out there who are in jobs that give them zero life satisfaction. Yeah. They wake up in the morning and they dread going to work. They don't enjoy what it is that they're doing. And the unfortunate thing is you can't really separate your work and your personal life, because the one will impact the other. If you are desperately unhappy at work, it is going to overflow into your personal life and vice versa. So trying to make sure that you are living in your purpose in both of those is very important. So that's where I went from merely doing the career counseling and the psychometric assessments for younger people into doing more the career coaching kind of things for older people that just wake up one day and realize, like, I'm not happy. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing in life. Like this, that dreaded question, like there's more to life than this.
Yeah. For sure. The only taste of career coaching I had was when I was a teenager in high school, and they said, okay, let's do the aptitude test. Let's figure out what is good for you. And that was okay. And it's always good to kind of know maybe your bent. But now that I'm a lot older, well, not that much older, a little bit older, I'm seeing people, I'm like, man, why are you going to work unhappy? That's at least 40 hours of your week that you can't, out of only 167 hours, that you can never get back. Like, I've always enjoyed pretty much all my work. There's been one or two jobs that I haven't liked, but it just, oh, it's heartbreaking when I see people dreading going to work.
I know.
Yeah.
I
So
know. And I used to be the same. Like you get these people and they're like, you know, like they wake up with a smile and with a spring in their step and they're like so excited to go to work. And I used to think like, what is wrong with you people? Like, like how did that happen? So it was all, like, this was also a personal journey for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. There's a lot of people like I love what I'm doing. Like I love it. Like I would do it for free. I love it. I've always enjoyed things because I've always tried to do things I enjoy. But I've had people say like, you actually like your job, like for real, you like it. Like you're not looking forward to vacation. And I'm like, yeah, I like vacation, but I really like working. Like if I didn't have responsibilities at home, like kids and stuff, I would work at night too because it's fun and it's,
Yes.
I like
Yes.
it. It's, and to people, I want to say you can find a job that will be life-giving to you. You don't have to be stuck in something you hate forever. So
Yes, exactly.
yeah,
But I think like what's going to be difficult in the current economic climate is there's so many companies that have left. And
yes,
I think there would have been people that were in their dream careers, who have now lost their jobs.
yeah,
And because they are desperate, they're going to be applying for jobs that they're not that passionate about.
yeah. And sometimes for periods, you have to do what you're not passionate about to feed your family, to pay the bills, to, you know, have
Yeah.
a roof over your head. But, you know, things only last for all recessions, like they only last for a period of time. And if they can push through
Yeah.
and look for the like bright light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think like that's something I tell to people that come to me for career counseling at any age, is I tell them everything you say and do is an investment in where it is that you want to go.
yes,
So if you are in a position now where, for instance, you lost your job, there's still opportunities out there to learn and to grow. Like you said, you might have to do something in the interim you're not that passionate about, but the doors aren't closed completely. You can still get back to where you were or to something even better. You don't know, but you need to use whatever time you have to grow into that position.
exactly. Things don't often fall in people's laps. You kind of have to put some action towards that. If it's school, if it's just meeting the right people, there are things that can be done to push them into that position for sure. I totally.
Exactly. And I think what people don't realize is with unemployment being so high and so many people applying,
Yeah.
you need to make sure that you are in the front of the queue. And the only way you're going to be in the front of the queue is if you set yourself apart from everybody else. And that's things like doing volunteer work, if that's the only thing you can get at the time, because that's experience on your resume that somebody else is not going to have. It's skills that you're going to have learned that somebody else is not going to have.
Yeah,
So you need to use every opportunity that you've got to just make sure you get your foot in the door first.
for sure. All right. So, what are some common misconceptions about career coaching that you, when you're talking to people and they're like, "Oh, a career coach," does that mean? Are there any misconceptions that you regularly come across?
To be honest, I feel like I'm breaking the ground a bit because people haven't, even in South Africa, haven't really come across career coaches that much.
Yeah.
Career counseling is a concept that they're very familiar with. So I tend to use that as my springboard into the conversation. So we start with the psychometric assessments just to create some awareness of who you are, or just to reaffirm who you believe that you are. And then we take it from there to say, well, and that was a limitation I found of career counseling, is it tends to be, you know, that one-off interaction, and then that's that. You know, you part ways, thank you for coming, they got the report, and then they read it at home. Whereas with career counseling, it's a little bit more of a journey, which I think is more realistic and more sustainable, because people sometimes don't know, like I lost my job now, or I'm 45 years old, I've got a family I need to feed, but my purpose lies in something else. How do I take care of my family and pursue my dream career at the same time? You know, like that transition. And that's not something that happens like this. It's a journey that you need to go on.
Yeah, and coaching implies that for sure it would be a journey. I don't know how anyone can find their purpose in one meeting. So it makes sense that it'd be an ongoing process.
And I think that was my critique. And you can tell me what your experience was having gone through attitude tests in school. Is we as a human being is a lot more complex than just your aptitude. You have a personality, you've got a value structure, you've got interests, and
Yeah.
all that play into and can play part in your selection of a career going forward and what your purpose is. So the problem I have is, and I know the schools mean well, and there is a reason why they do aptitude tests.
Yeah.
But in terms of career progression and starting to build towards your career, it's very narrow. And it doesn't give you as much information as you could use in order to make a more informed decision on where you want to go one day.
Yeah.
So I will be quite vocal when I hear there's professionals out there that, for instance, they only do an aptitude test or an IQ test, and then they'll only do a personality test. And I'm like, no, people are so much more interesting and robust and holistic than that. So you need to look at more.
Yeah.
And then the other critique I have is, I have people that come to me and they complain. So they say, oh, but I've done career counseling. And they told me that I can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't want to pay to hear that they can do anything, because I'm sure their parents tell them that they can do anything.
Yeah. And it's not true, let's be honest.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
You have to be realistic. Like, I could never be on professional soccer. I'm never going to be in the World Cup. It doesn't matter how much I love soccer. I'm not good enough. So to tell me I can do anything, it's not good for two reasons. One, it's unrealistic. Number two,
Yes.
if I told my kids they can do anything, then that it's just too big of a menu. It's like, well, then it's like back to square one. They're overwhelmed with choices. So it is good to kind of put people in some sort of a funnel. Like, here are your giftings. Here's your personality. Let's kind of narrow these choices down.
Exactly. And if you think of that book, I don't know if you've read it, the book Outliers, which is talking about the 10,000 hour rule.
Yeah.
They didn't spend 10,000 hours on 100 different things. They spent 10,000 hours on something that takes them to a goal.
Yes, exactly.
So the sooner you start that process, the better. And that's why I feel there's value in doing career counseling the earlier the child is, because it already starts narrowing the focus or the funnel, like you said.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it can't happen when you're older.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Yeah, like, even when I did my test when I was younger, I can't even remember what it told me to do. But now that I'm older, my priorities have changed. I don't want to like do certain things anymore. Like, everything has changed. So it's good to come back to these things and say, okay, yeah, when I was 18, this is the direction I want to go in. But now I'm 35. I want to switch focus. I want to do something else. And this is what makes me happy now. Because we grow so much in those 15 years after university or after high school. Like, to do one thing forever, it to me sounds awful, but some people might like it. So it's probably
you get those people. They're like, oh no, I decided when I was 9 years old I'm going to be a fireman, and then they
do it.
are firemen and like so happy.
Yeah, exactly. But I think most people need, I don't know, what do you think? Like, are people coming to you in their middle ages saying like, okay, I was happy, but now I'm kind of sick of it. Let's switch focus.
Yes, and the thing is, it often comes out of crisis.
Oh, okay.
Like now, for example, I think a lot of people were so stuck in their comfort zone of having their salary coming in every month. And now that salary isn't there, it's like they have the push and they've got that freedom to now make better decisions in terms of what it is that they want to do.
Yeah, so crisis definitely, puts a little heat on. So are there certain career frustrations you hear, like common frustrations you hear from people when it comes to careers?
I think the biggest problem is often that there's no link between the value systems. And an easy example I can use, for example, is I had a candidate who was applying for a job in a sales company where the salary is mostly commission driven.
Okay.
But this person, when we did a values profile as part of the assessment battery, they want that income stability. So they want to know, I'm getting my 30K or whatever it is coming in every month. I can plan according to that and I don't need to stress. Now you want to put somebody like that into a position that's commission driven,
Yeah.
where there is no security of income because they're dependent on other people's whims on buying the product or not buying the service, whatever the case might be. Like that's a mismatch.
Yeah.
And people might be happy because they're earning a salary for the first couple of months or years, but then they fall out of love with the new environment and the excitement of a change, and then the natural inclinations wants to come out, and
Yeah.
they want the income stability. So culture fit is the biggest problem that I've found.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, because value, you have to have the values lining up with your business. Like, I know for me, the job I did for like 10, 11 years, I wasn't making a lot of money, but it was charity. So I loved that I was pouring into people. Whereas my other friends were like, how could you should be making as much as other people are at your level. And I was okay with it. They would not be okay with it. So it wouldn't be a good fit for them because depending on what your values are. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So if you could identify like a golden rule of career satisfaction, what would that be? So like if people
I
want,
think if you can invest the time in yourself, take that time out to determine who you are as a person, what motivates you, what you would be happy doing for the rest of 40 years of your life, because that's generally how long people work after studies before they retire.
yep,
If you can just take that time and invest that time in yourself, I think a lot of people's satisfaction in life as a whole would increase.
okay,
But that starts with that self investment. Take the time out. What is my purpose in life?
yeah,
And then marry that up with a career if you can.
okay. So do you find you have to really dig into your clients to find what their purpose in life is, or do they know?
It's more so in the younger people that come to me. The older people, I think that they're a little bit wiser. They tend to know themselves a little bit better. So
Okay,
in general, they tend to know, or they have a better idea of who they are as a person. So if we are doing psychometric assessments, for example, it's more just of a reaffirming and sometimes explaining, like, why do I get so irritated when somebody is detailed in their description? Because you're a highly compliant person. You just want to get like down to the nitty gritties. Like, you don't want to want people to waste your time with narratives. So you can understand yourself better. So yeah, it's a little bit more of a process in the younger people than it is with the older people.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it's hard to know, right? So unless you really take time to figure it out, or you have the experience, have the time to say, oh, this I like, this I don't like, here's what's going on. But that would be a hard one for sure.
Yes.
All right, so switching focus, I'm a digital marketer, so I'm going to bring this around to digital marketing. What are some social media strategies people can use to hire the right person and find out maybe if you're looking for a job, the culture of a company?
Okay, so let's do it from the applicant's point of view first.
Okay.
And that's very easy to do. You can do one of two things. Like, Google is your friend, and
Yeah.
Google can probably give you any information you want. So
Yeah.
you need to do your homework. If you are going to go on a reputable company's website, you will find their vision, mission, and value statement on the website.
Yeah.
So that'll already give you a very good indication of what it is that they stand for, what it is that they do. Companies tend to publicize those kind of things on their website, social media, etc.
Yeah.
The second thing you can do is find people that work for that company and have a chat with them. If it's people that you can relate to, then chances are your value systems are aligned. And if they are happy in the job, then your value system will be aligned to the company's.
Yeah.
So that's a very easy thing to do. It just means, like, get off your bum, go to your internet, Google a little bit, and speak to people.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
A little bit of research.
Yes, yeah, just do the research. Then from a recruiter's or a company's point of view, people love their social media.
Mm-hmm.
And you can learn a lot from people by going onto their social media profiles.
For
Okay.
sure.
And people will argue and say, well, don't judge a book by its cover. But you are painting the picture of the book cover that we see.
Yeah.
So you need to be, you need to, or what I tell people is this: your social media is like your personal brand. It sells you to people,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's friends, whether it's acquaintances, whether it is a prospective employer.
Yeah.
What you are going to put on your social media is going to tell them what kind of person you are. I, for example, also recruit for a trainee managers program for an international retailer for one of their divisions.
Okay.
And I know from a trainee manager what we would expect for somebody that's going to be a manager in a retail environment. They
Yeah.
need to be responsible, they need to be flexible, they need to be go-getters, they need to be level-headed, they need to have a good grasp of the English language because there's lots of reports involved. So when you go and look on the social media, you've got that criteria.
Yeah.
That's what you look for.
Yeah, for sure.
They always write in slang, or their grammar is